2007, 2008 come around, I get my teeth kicked in.
Shoot.
I end up on my brother's couch, about $700,000-$800,000 in debt. And after licking my wounds, I'm like, all right, I could do this with gutters, and I need to make a lot of money, not like $150,000 a year. Like, I got to do it. So I just start reverse engineering, and I'm like a spreadsheet numbers guy. I love to run numbers, and I just wrote it all out, and I'm like, I could do this.
Hi, and welcome to the Flat Bill Investors Podcast. I'm Josh Zagloski.
I'm Zach Spencer. Welcome. Today, Josh, we are ecstatic to have with us a 35-year plus entrepreneur. He has built a $10 million plus business from the ground up and from the top down. You'll hear about that in a little bit. We are blessed to have the Gutter King himself with us today. We have Kevin Marron. Hey, Kevin, what's up?
Kevin.
Thank you very much for having me, guys. Love to be here in Salt Lake and to be on your podcast.
Love it.
Thanks for making the trip.
Yes, all the way from
Atlanta.
Atlanta. There you go.
Originally from Jersey.
You can almost tell with your accent. Almost.
Nobody believes I'm from Atlanta.
Nice. Well, let's get right into it. The one thing that I definitely wanted Kevin to be on the show with is he's a blue collar millionaire guy, and we'll go over what that means here in a little bit. But Kevin and I know each other since 2020. And we met each other at Tim Brotz's event there at the patio. He was probably one of three people I talked to all night, but I talked to him like 80% of the time. And so he and I got to know each other really well and kept in touch. We'd see each other at different events. But what was really impressive is his story on where he started as, the cleaning gutters. Yeah, literally being on top of a roof to making it into a systematic, scalable business. So why don't you kind of talk about what that means?
Well, I have a business, Gutter King, and I clean the gutters for apartment complex, condominium associations. Super, simple. But I was doing it in the beginning. I was the one guy out there. Then I had one guy. Then I had 30 guys. But the thing I changed about it was I was doing it all in one area in New Jersey and then Pennsylvania with employees. But then I created this model, and I think I tell you guys to call it goobers. To think of Uber and then gutter guys. So it's their vehicle,
nice, goobers,
their ladder, their insurance.
Yes.
Gutter Uber.
The gutter Ubers.
And I load up these jobs in half the country. I get the contracts on these apartment complex condominium associations. We have systems to teach them how to do it, checks and balances. They have to, know what they're doing. They go out there, do those jobs. They get paid right away. We bill that customer, and there's a nice margin for everybody in there. And we just scaled it to a really big level. So
like you said, you started just yourself, just getting on the roofs. And these are, apartments, mostly, multifamily units, to having a team, employees, to today. How many employees do you have?
I really only have a couple of employees, my mom and myself, but I have a lot of virtual assistants. I'm big on virtual assistants.
So that's great. So as you got bigger, your company got smaller.
It got smaller, it got more profitable, it got easier, and it got very virtual.
Probably less drama.
Oh, way less.
When you have employees, there's drama, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So you have to go the goods and the bads, even though sometimes contractors could be, bring you drama too of getting paid on time, all that kind of stuff. But with what you guys have, you guys are paying people how fast?
We'll pay in 24, 48 hours. So we have everybody's payment info. They'll do a job, take the pictures, company cam. We load it up. I have a VA checking them, making sure it's good. And then they just issue payment.
I love that.
It's super quick. Awesome. We're not getting paid for 30 or 60 days.
Yeah, you guys are on terms probably with the HOA or whoever's paying.
So they can't afford to do that. They want to stay busy. They want to be profitable, so they do it. It's a really great system like that. But we have multiple goober subs in every market. So goobers. If one is not doing well, or even we just pull the plug on them.
Oh.
It's not like employees where you're reliant on these four guys and like two of them aren't doing a good job. And if we have any heat, if you're not hitting our checklist and you're getting callbacks, we have all kinds of parameters.
I was just going to ask
if you get a couple callbacks, one callback, we'll talk to you about it. Two callbacks, somebody on my team's going to call you what's going on. Like if it's obvious mistakes. 3, you're out the door.
Yeah. I was going to ask because you're paying so quickly that if there's jobs that have to come back, is there some sort of...
I'll tell you how I do that. We pay 70-30. So say they're making $2,000 on the job. They'll get 70% within 48 hours and 30% on day 7. Right. So if there's an issue, but the best ones, and we have a lot of them, they never get callbacks. It's just not that difficult.
Yeah. I was going to say, unless
one of the systems we have is walk around like you're a property manager, a board member trying to find shit to complain about.
Yeah.
Because I used to do that.
That's a good
I used
check,
to teach my guys. I'm like, you have a 24-hour window before it's 4:00. They're not going to do it till tomorrow when they're walking the dog.
So you gotta
get ahead of it.
do your own audit.
And it's like, oh yeah, that might annoy them. Clean it up, that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
you said your mom works for you. What does she do?
Now she's really just like somebody I talk to and knows all the different parts of my business. But she did bookkeeping. She paid all the subcontractors. She still oversees that.
Cool.
So she's doing a lot of stuff like that.
Because I know we've talked about this
HR
before.
stuff.
You're really close to your mom, but you also told me that you actually grew up in a white collar family.
Yeah, I did. So I'm a blue collar guy, but my dad was an accountant. My mom was a software programmer. They came from blue collar families, so we had that Irish immigrant type of attitude to do everything ourselves. But they aspired to do that, go to school and be white collar. So when I wanted to be blue collar, that was definitely taboo.
So you didn't go to college?
Did you try it at all? Did you try college at all or not?
I did go for a little while.
Yeah.
I got into colleges and my parents had saved money for college, and my sister went to a great college and became a lawyer. So yeah, they were really upset. So I was already doing the landscaping business. Like I already had like a commercial mower and everything while I was still in high school.
Because you went from landscaping.
So I knew I wasn't going, but I didn't really break it to them till like senior year. And then my dad was like, just go part-time or go at night and everything. Do it a year if you don't like it. And it wasn't the education. I just thought it was I remember they were teaching in marketing about supply and demand. And I was just like, really? Like you're teaching a 19-year-old kid this? I thought, I just thought the stuff was so basic. So for me, I wanted to learn other things, and I just wanted to be outside and do everything and learn.
Very similar
School
to
of
me.
hard knocks,
Yeah, there's the easy way to learn things, the hard way of learning things. Tell me about a time when you weren't, you sound pretty much on top of the world right now. Did you have any hiccups on your come
I
up?
had a lot. So, when I came out of high school, everything went well. So I did 10 years landscaping business, sold it, made some nice money, was buying real estate. And I was like, yeah, this is working. I'm the smartest guy in the room. I start doing more real estate. I'm doing the gutters. I sold the landscaping business to do the gutters because I saw more opportunity there. I got sidetracked with that shiny new object syndrome, have my hand in too many things. 2007, 2008 come around. I get my teeth kicked in.
Shoot.
I end up on my brother's couch, about $700,000-$800,000 in debt. And, after licking my wounds, I'm like, all right, I could do this with gutters, and I need to make a lot of money, not like $150,000 a year. Like I got to do it. So I just start reverse engineering, and I'm like a spreadsheet numbers guy. I love to run numbers, and I just wrote it all out. And I'm like, I could do this. The great feeling I was like, I'll pay all this debt off. And then when it's paid off, now it's all mine.
Sure.
Because now I created it. People they get too worried about paying off debt. I look at it the other way. If you can come up with an extra $200,000 a year to pay off big debts, when you're done, now you could just put it in the bank.
Yeah.
You're going to load up. So I stayed super focused from 2008 to really about a year before I met you. I had opportunities maybe to do other things, and I just stayed zeroed in on it, and I was just stacking up.
Yeah, it's good for you to learn from that lesson. That's good.
I learned.
Yeah, a lot of people will meet somebody who's in your position, and you go, oh man, you're on the top of the world. But a lot of people don't see you say you licked your wounds and pulled yourself up by your bootstraps and did it.
And I was living way under my means too. I was driving around one of my vans in 2015 sometimes. And I was a millionaire. And I bought a used Volkswagen in 2016, 2 years old. I just was like, I want every dollar I got, I just wanted to compound. That going back on the couch and having that suffering, that's pain is real. And now I don't feel like that at all, of course, but
sometimes, I feel like we need that pain. We need that pain and the scarcity and the unknown to continue to push us.
Yeah.
I look at like my failures as well when I was married really early, so it wasn't like I was on someone else's couch, but we were losing our house. A foreclosure notice on my door. There's plenty of stories I have, and I'm glad I went through it.
Yeah.
And
it's the best thing that happened to me.
Yeah. Let's segue into the blue collar millionaire side. So then you and I meet in 2020. We obviously keep in touch, and then come about 21, 22. You're telling me that you got into, looking into buying businesses, and I'm watching you from afar. I'm also talking to you about it a little bit. I went to a class with a good friend of mine. The one thing I've kind of noticed is a couple things, but before I go over that, let's talk about the blue collar. is then you started, your trajectory was just kind of like this, is you started buying businesses, you had opportunities to buy them at discounted prices. And, you know, obviously you're planning on exiting them at one time. You continue to get more and more education. Then you started your own group with a partner of yours, Chris. So why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I started a group called Blue Collar Millionaire. It's on Facebook. Chris Garrison's my partner on it. It was my idea, but he's really outgoing. I didn't really want to be on camera and do all that stuff at first. And now I feel super comfortable with it. So he was a great person. And then, you know, you got to find a guy who actually is a blue collar millionaire who wants to do that. Cause I knew some, but they were not going to like, what, a Facebook group, you know, I don't want to do that. So it worked really good. And then we talk about all the ways to scale businesses, grow businesses. It's a community where people help each other. I hate these groups where people are negative and people, you know, ask a question and like, you're an idiot. We just kick you out. There's 200,000 people. I mean, we kick out 100 people a day. Which I have VAs who are just clearing people out.
Which I got to tell you was crazy.
No warning.
I mentioned I met you just after you guys had met in 2001, and you really blew my mind when I basically been in real estate since 2008. Everything, when we talked about investing, in my mind, it was real estate, or building a company was real estate. So those are, when we sat in that house in Vegas and you kind of gave your, a little bit of a presentation about who you are and what you're doing. And I was like, okay, he cleans gutters. Like, what? I had no idea that you could like build a business, a legitimate business out of what I thought would be something small that you could just maybe do in a town. And now you're growing, you're in a bunch of states by then. At that point, Blue Collar Millionaire was fairly small, right?
Super small.
And so now for you to say you got 200,000 people and you got VAs crazy. Working for it, I mean, that's a pretty...
it's a business now.
Yeah.
You know, and we're doing events. We're doing Blue Collar Millionaire dinner tonight. 20 people coming, and it's cool stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome. And that's led into buying some businesses and things, right?
Yeah, so I did a group within the group, like a paid group, and where I taught guys how to buy businesses. And my partner did it, and another friend of mine, Mark Evans, did it. And within that, you get to know guys. You're talking to them every week. You're showing them what they're doing. You're giving them homework. They're bringing deals. Some of them aren't. Some of them are.
Yeah.
And there was a few people in particular that I said to myself, I would invest with this guy. I would do business. And that was part of the idea. Like, we're helping guys, but I knew there would probably be a guy who might want to get involved in business and might not have the cash. Might be me 20.
Sure.
Might be that guy, not necessarily on the couch, but super bright guy who's hungry. And I found one. He found a great deal. And he had a little trouble getting financing, SBA. He's a younger guy. And I said, hey, I'll give you the money for this.
Do you care sharing a little bit about that deal?
Yeah. We bought a windshield business, auto glass business. They do windshields. A niche within that is they do freight liners, so 18-wheelers. A lot of windshield companies don't do that. They had already had contracts with Penske, Ryder, Frito-Lay, the postal office of Macon, Coca-Cola. So they had some things.
And they're just replacing windshields.
Just replacing windshields, going out on site and doing it, or they're coming there. But all the background stuff, they didn't have a CRM. They had like Windows 95 type of computers and a lot of stuff and a lot of notebook stuff. And she took it to where she could take it, you know, and then that's the generation. And I totally understand that. So we saw all these opportunities wow, and she knew it too. She's a very smart woman. She said, man, if you take of course she's a woman. She was like, if a young male comes in here and he just talks to these big companies all day, you're going to clean up.
Yeah.
But I just don't have the energy. And she took it. So we bought the real estate plus the business. We bought it at a crazy price. It was making money. And then we just went in there, spent 60 days fixing that business up, the systems, putting in SOPs, inventory, all that. And now because the business is already making money and running, there was another partner. He brought in his best friend, who's an impressive guy too. And all they do is just get on the phone and call places and sell and make shit happen.
Do you care... Can we drill into that a little bit when you say it's already making money? That could be relative.
Yeah.
What kind of numbers? Get specific on this real quick, because I think it's really interesting to know.
Like $400,000 a year in net income. Mm-hmm. So if you don't do anything and you don't lose customers, you're going to make 400.
So it's already got some legs.
We bought it for cash, but at the last second, and this happens all the time, is if you lead with money and you have money, and then at the end you could say, hey, if you want, we could help you out on your tax. We could do a little seller financing. So then we did 125 of it, seller financing.
Oh, cool.
So that's even better for us. We keep that cash and everything. So we have a nice cash flow coming. They're taking salaries. We even brought a couple new team members. Everybody stayed on. And now you have energy. You're not in the weeds putting out fires because it's already running.
Yeah.
And now you can just focus on the growth. And they weren't doing any marketing or anything.
I remember you telling me, and then I looked into it, and it was obviously true, but like buying businesses is very similar to real estate and buying real estate. And it's
very
actually,
similar.
there's some better benefits actually, where you can get bonus depreciation, equipment depreciation, cap rates are, what's a cap rate that you just got into recently?
I mean, I'll get 40 cap rates, 50
I mean,
cap
40
rates.
cap rates.
In a business, that would be like real estate. If that something was 40 cap rate,
That's a slam dunk.
everybody would be on it. So
Yeah.
today trying to buy
Well,
it.
you'd think, I mean, my first thought in real estate would be like, what's the catch?
Yeah, there's got to be
Is
something.
there like,
So-
is this a class D with like the guy in the
Yeah,
back?
you'd be in a war zone.
sticking, yeah. If you
Yeah.
were,
And you wouldn't be 40, it'd be
Yeah.
15. I see those opportunities, and then there's no cap to it, because we were talking about like if everybody's renting at 1,400 in the town, and you got 2 bedrooms, you can't just do it for 4,000. But you buy a roofing business, I bought a windshield business, an HVAC business, you could do anything to it.
yeah.
I mean, you can go from 3 million in sales to 20 million
Mhm.
just by taking more market share,
Well,
doing more
that's-
things, adding more services.
That's the thing is that I met the guy that you guys work with, that fractional CFO. He was buying businesses. I think he said over 100 businesses, over $10 million at usually it ranged between 3X all the way up to 15X.
Yeah, Mike Gaines. So he was the CFO or the CPA. He does fractional CFO work on, and he's brought well over 100 companies to 10 million and up exit, some way more than 10 million. And he's been the kind of, we'll say, the brains behind it. So he knows exactly, because he's done it over 100 times, what private equity wants, how they want the books to learn, how they need everything so clean.
So you really
Because
start
they're-
with the end in mind.
He reverse engineers it. So
That's
we're
awesome.
doing this. He's our CFO on.
How often do you talk to him?
We're doing meetings every week.
Okay.
And then my partners are talking to a CPA under him. I mean, they're texting all the time. He knows everything about the accounting, but then he's entrepreneurial. He has good ideas.
That's good.
He just loves it. So we're folding him into a deal now. We're doing another roofing business that I'm buying with a couple partners. And we're going to fold him in, and we're going to have a nice exit. He just it's like, I call it like the been there, done that crew. So it's like,
That's
these guys have all done these things. I've
Yeah.
done it. I know what it's like
Yeah.
to start when you literally have one customer to thousands. For Gutter King, we do thousands in just in this 10-day period, we're going to do thousands of complexes. So I can show guys how to do that. And then he can show these pieces. You put all these pieces in, and I want these guys to know, this is very real. You can sell your company 10 million, 30 million. I just know so many people now doing it.
I mean, you get to a certain point, you're going to get VC interested and big companies.
Yeah, if you get your business to $1 million in EBITDA, which is kind of like net income, private equity would be very interested. Getting over that $1 million in EBITDA is very hard,
Sure.
but it's not so hard if you have people who've done it before and people who can help you get it there. Or even for me, I didn't have anybody do that. But I had a mentor in 2014, 15, and he had a business that was doing 6 million EBITDA, 6.3. I remember he showed me. I don't know, I left there and I was like, what the hell am I doing? And he was disappointed in me doing $1 million.
Wow.
Yeah.
But it's you have to be around it. You get that borrowed belief.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, the thing is too, I think a lot of people, let's talk about, you said your partners. I think that's what's interesting for our audience is people that are listening right now that have thought about starting your own business or whatever. You definitely want to find, his Facebook group, Blue Collar Millionaire. A couple of his partners now are former students.
Yeah. With this windshield business and in the roofing business, they were in the Blue Collar Millionaire atmosphere. They were in the war room. They were learning from me. But I because I get to know them. They get to know me. You become friends. You see who's hustlers, who's doing what.
Mm-hmm.
And mentally, you're thinking, I do work. But on the other end, they're thinking, I'd go to Kevin and get him involved in this. He's got money and he could help me do this. And that's how we do it. I will never start a business on my own and just operate it again. I did it for 35. Now I want to find guys who are kind of versions of me 20, 25 years ago. And I want to help them get there much faster. I don't want them to figure it out over 20 years. Let's figure it out over 4.
I actually, kind of the opposite. I mean, I think if you're a new person that's starting your own business, you should definitely find a partner or two instead of trying to do 100%. Yeah.
If you take a guy and that's part of the ego. It wouldn't have worked for me when I was young because I wanted to I don't have a boss or anything like that. But if you take a 25-year-old guy and you say, hey, what's a better path to being a millionaire or a multimillionaire? Getting involved with people who've had $10 million exits, and then you be the grinder, the driver of it. And you just, you have lots of input in it, but you're doing it. You'll get there much faster than you're trying to figure it out on your own.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Like there's no question you'll get there faster.
Yeah. What's kind of the goal with a Blue Collar Millionaire, the group, over maybe the next year or two?
The goal is just to have a community where people can ask questions, not be judged. I don't like negativity. I kick them out. I want guys to do it not only faster, I want it to do it with less stress. People don't talk that in entrepreneurship. It puts a lot of stress on relationships and on your own. And I want them, I'm divorced and I had broken relationships, and a lot of that, it wasn't because I was this jerk or violent, guy. I just was not paying attention.
Yeah.
I'm going to sleep at 1, sometimes working, and I'm gone before they are. And I don't want that, especially now I'm an old dad. I had a son 5 years ago, but I'm super present. But if I had him 20 years ago, and I have friends that, they missed out on it.
Yeah.
They completely missed out. I want guys to have all those things. And then I want guys who want another level. We have a boardroom elite. It's $1,000 a month. And I teach specific courses on VAs, get commercial properties, affiliate market, all the stuff that makes you lots of money. I'm going to give it to you like every little thing.
And that's a $12,000 investment for the year.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's good.
How often do both the paid group and the free group meet? Is the free group just being part of Facebook, but there's no...
That's just part of being Facebook.
Gotcha.
But we do other things, like I'll have the dinner. Somebody can come out and they come to a dinner and pay to dinner. I don't do a lot of like calls, but sometimes I'll do a whiteboard call if somebody's, I'll do like a one-off, and I'll just try to show them all kinds of stuff.
So that's awesome. And so I guess the real question is, for anybody listening, they can do it. And that's what I'm kind of getting from you is it seems like you have a really good faith in people and their ability to pull themselves up and do these things. Like, I haven't heard you say one thing like, oh, you have to be real special to do this thing.
No, I think the keys are, and this is what worked for me, is being super focused on one thing. Like, I don't like when people they're not really making much money in one business and they got another idea. Yeah. Zero in this, dominate one thing. Like, I don't care if it's gutter cleaning or whatever. That's what I did. I just ran over everybody in one thing. Right.
Yep.
And then you can start diversifying. Yeah. So that's one thing. The second thing is getting around people who are doing bigger things than you and really getting that bar belief. That is a massive thing for me.
Yeah. That's a huge term. You've said
and
it twice
keeps
now.
Going, like what you did with ERC. Like, what that makes me think bigger, and that's what you should do.
Yep.
And then asking questions and getting around people like that fractional CFO, people who've done it. And then I'm all about letting them do it, but I want to learn like while I'm making money. It's an incredible thing.
Yeah.
We all know that. Like if you learn, if we'll say a blue collar guy, you're learning plumbing and you're an apprentice, you're kind of you're making money while you're doing it. But I want to do it on a higher level. Like, how do I make money and learn how to sell it to $10 million business? So I did that. Now I want to do it for $100 million.
Yeah, great. That's awesome. I love it. I think you've got my spirits lifted. I love it.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, thanks again, Kevin. Thanks again for coming in.
Thank you for having me, guys.
Appreciate you, man. Always appreciate our friendship as well.
Yeah,
I really do.
Yeah.
Well, time to sign off. Invest in your future.
Invest in yourself.
This is the Flat Bill Investors Podcast signing off.
Let's do it.